Good morning, my friends. Welcome into another edition of Facebook Live with By the Shore Stamping. I'm so happy you are joining me today. I am I'm so silly to think that I can get myself together on a Thursday morning by 10 a.m. So pardon my hair. We're gonna switch over to stamping really quickly because it's a little crazy. I have been enjoying this lazy rainy morning, so I have not got myself put together. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this around so that we can start stamping. I'll give it a few minutes for you guys to join me. But yeah, today's not a good day for a FaceTime or Facebook FaceTime, let's say. So I am going to show you a fancy fold card that actually was inspired by my friend Michelle Litwiller today. I'm actually prepping for my Shore Stampers stamp over this weekend. So every quarter, every time there's a new catalog, we do a training. It's an all-day training, 10 to 4, and we do 4 complete classes. So one of the classes we're doing this weekend is fancy folds. And so this is one of the cards we're doing that I was inspired by Michelle and Rhonda Wade, actually. So I'm just giving you a sneak peek of one of their projects, but it's really fun. We do 10 to 4 trainings. So like I said, 4 classes. We have lunch together. We do some display stampers. Usually we have some training. I do some pillow gifts. We usually have a treat. So it's kind of like a mini Cape Cod Creative Escape, but for my team. So it's a really fun event. We only do the stamp over part. So the stamp over part for this weekend is actually for the January. It's usually in January, but this month it's in February because of my schedule. But for this winter one, we always do a stamp over where I rent the ballroom for the night as well, and then we can actually stay and craft for the night. And so that's kind of fun. The rest of the time, every new time there's a new catalog, we do this training, but it's usually just an all-day training, so 10 to 4. And then we go home and go about our lives. But this one's fun because we actually do a little crafting together and bonding and all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited about that. I'm prepping for that today. And yeah, it's a great time to be a shore stamper. So if you've ever considered being a demonstrator, now, not only for, what we do as a team, but it's just a great deal at this point in time with the Celebration Starter Kit. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But let's go ahead and start with our project. So I'm starting with an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of Pear Pizzazz cardstock. And good morning, ladies. I'm going to go ahead and on the front of this, I'm going to I'm going to cut slits at 1.5 on both sides of the front. So I'm going to stick it in this way first, and I'm going to line it up with 1.5. And I only want these slits to go to the folded mark because that's why I folded it first. I only want it on the front of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to the folded line. You all know how much I love my guillotine cutter, but in this case, this is when it's really handy to have a cutter like this. It has the scoring capability and it has the ability to cut from a certain point on a card to another certain point. So I'm lining up this little edge right here with the mark on my card, and then I'm just going to go down this time. Oh, haha, I did it wrong. See? Oh my goodness. All right, let's try this again. So I'm starting with an 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. I always see this is what happens when I talk and stamp and I'm not quite awake. All right. I slept really well last night, and I got up at 8, I think, but I was not really ready to get up. All right, so let's go ahead, fold this again, and try this again. So we're going to do 1.5 on the same side, not on opposite sides. So let me stick this in again. We're going to do 1.5 from here. So I'm going to bring it down here. Again, I'm lining up this little marker on my cutter to the score mark on my card. Now we're going to flip this around and do it this way, 1.5. And again, I'm going to line it up with the halfway mark. And I'm going to go up. There we go. There, I did it right. Okay, so now we have these 3 little strips here. So I'm going to go ahead and for the middle section, I'm going to line this up with 2 1/8. And I'm going to take my scoring tool and I'm going to score just the middle section. Okay. Oops, I scored kind of the other part too. I should have folded those backwards, but whatever. We're doing everything difficult today. Okay, so now that I have that done, I cut a piece of Whisper White that's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down to the inside of my card. So we'll just open up those little flaps and tape that down like that. And then we're going to take these 2 extra side parts here and we're going to tape those down as well. So I'm just going to fold those, make sure they're lined up at the edge, and burnish those. So those are taped down. Okay, and do that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I cut a piece of designer series paper. This is the, what's it called? Oh, I have it right here. This is one of the coordination products. It's called Please as Punch. And as you can see, the paper coordinates with our builder punches. So this coordinates with our umbrella punch. And then we have this piece that coordinates with our heart doily punch. Those are really pretty. Then we have this paper that coordinates with the the small bloom punch, which is a celebration reward. So you can see that here. And then this one, the last one, coordinates with the Tulip builder punch, which is here, which is the one we're going to use for this. And then of course all the back sides for these are just kind of generic springy kind of patterns. So it's a really cute paper pack. It's item number 153558, and I believe it is $11.50, and it's, again, it's a limited time. I think it's only through the end of March, and that is while supplies last. So I'm cutting a little piece of the back side of the Tulip paper to 4 by 1 1/4, and I'm going to go ahead and tape this down to the 2 sides. So I'm going to attach this down. And then I'm going to do the other side too. And I'm going to go ahead and I pre-cut or punched a 2-inch circle from copper foil paper. And actually I lied. I'm not going to put that on with regular adhesive. I want dimensionals. Where are my dimensionals? Here they are. Whenever I'm in the middle of like design craziness, my desk looks like a bomb went off. So it looks nice and neat right here, but trust me, the rest of my desk, it's chaos, which drives most people crazy, but you know, it's just how I operate. Okay, before I do this though, around this, so this has the score line like this. Around this center part here, I'm going to put a little piece of the Whisper White polka dot tulle. I love this ribbon. So as part of the stamp over this weekend, part of the training for my team, they actually get a goodie bag of product that they're going to use on their make and takes. So this will likely be one of them. I think it is. I don't even remember. I should know. I already ordered all the stuff, but I don't remember. I think it is. Alright, so next up, we're going to do, just trim that off. I'm just meeting that in the middle. And then I'm going to put this copper foil over the center, like that. And then I pre-cut the tulip from the paper that I showed you. And then this one, I'm going to show you how I did this. Okay, so this is how tired I am because I couldn't figure it out. I wanted the leaves to go in opposite directions. So when I was punching them, and I was like, oh, I need 2 of this pattern, and I punched it twice, but then one was, they weren't going the right way. Like they were going, I don't know how to explain it. Like one was going this way, and then the other one would go like weird down where it was just weird. So I was like, what is happening? But I figured out that we have to do this. You have to punch one this way and then flip it over. Even though I'm using the same pattern, you have to flip it over and do the other one this way. And now those 2 leaves will go in the right direction so that I can have that little bulby part at the bottom, so I can put them on like that. And yes, that's the technical term, bulby part. Telling you, my brain does not function well in the morning. We might have to go back to 4 o'clock Facebook Lives, I think. All right, so I'm going to just tape those down like that. And then I went ahead and used dimensionals for this. So I'm just going to put a few dimensionals on there. And so you can see there's not really a whole lot of stamping on this. I just did punching for the most part. I'm going to do this, and then I'm stealing a little piece of, I wanted this to be Whisper White, but I don't have any of my Whisper White twine with me. I sent it home with my buddy Brenda. And of course, whenever I do that, she's making up some extra cards for me, which is great. But whenever I do that, I want whatever I gave her. So it's like a little kid, you know, you want what you can't have. So we're going to use very vanilla instead today, just for the purpose of completing this card. All right. Oh, good. Nice. I'm glad you like it. It's really cute. And yes, this would make a great guy card too, in different colors, of course. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the bottom of my tulip. Okay, so now you can see where we're going here. I'm going to set that aside for a second. All the stamping I did was just the sentiment here. So I did, oh, and I forgot to look it up. I used one of my punches, this one, and I do not know the name. Now I can't find, oh, here it is. I do not know the name, but it looks like this. See, there you can see it. I forgot. I'll put it in the description afterwards, but I'm using that punch and a sentiment from the Peaceful Moments stamp set from the Poppies Suite. This is a tight fit, so I probably should have stamped it first and then punched, but you know what? It's the morning and I like to do things difficult. All right, so there we go. I'm using Pear Pizzazz ink and that stamp, and then I'm going to flip this over. We're going to use dimensionals on that. So we're going to just put, I again like to do 4 here on this one. I don't need one in the middle because it's not much space in between them. So, but I like to make sure they're not saggy. So I go a little more than probably necessary. And then we're going to stick this down at the bottom and the inside here. And then you can see, so you would mail it in the card like this, in the envelope like this. And then you just tuck it up like an easel so it would sit like this on the desk. See how cute that is? Isn't that fun? And it's so simple. It's just a regular card base, and you just have to do a couple of cuts. And our trimmer works great for that. And then you have a really sweet little card that somebody could put on their mantle or desk or what have you. So really super cute and super fun. I loved that idea, so I wanted to share it with you. And again, this is one of the projects we'll be making this weekend at my team training, and I know I mentioned it, so I will give you the details on the starter kit for Celebration. I mentioned it at the beginning. This is a great time to join. We have until the end of March to get this amazing deal. It's a $99 purchase plus tax, and you get $125 worth of product of your choice. You pick whatever you want from any of the catalogs, the current catalogs. Then you also get for Celebration, you're getting an extra stamp set of your choice, any value. So I always say go as high as you can. And then you also get a DSP sampler pack from the spring catalog. So you'll get a 6x6 sampler pack. I think it's 43 sheets of an assortment of papers from the mini catalog. And then you also get this adorable little mini trimmer too, which it's exclusive to the starter kit right now. So it's super cute. It's small, but it would be great for like to put in your little tool bag, and that would be really cool for you know, if you're going to scraps. It would be good for photos, cutting photos. It also works great with the 6x6 paper sampler pack that you'd get. And again, you get all of that for just $99 plus tax. So it's a great deal. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or to send me a quick email at jenpitta@comcast.net. Otherwise, I will see you next week for my Teach Me Tuesday on Tuesday. If you're not on my mailing list, be sure to click the sign up button above on my By the Shore Stamping Facebook page. That will get you connected to my mailing list, and I send out a new Teach Me Tuesday video every week. And I also include my local schedule. If you're here on the Cape, you'll know when I'm doing classes. And then, of course, I'll be here again next Thursday at 10 a.m. All right, thanks so much. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.